Okay, in this short video, I just want to cover some more basics about sketching in side view and how you might want to start your ideation sketches when you're looking for different forms or maybe exploring a form family. Um, it's important to sketch a lot and to sketch quite directly. So now here I've got some little examples of shapes. What you can see is I've been sketching the central axis. It's very handy when you're doing a symmetrical shape and you can easily measure, check distances. And also important is lines in the horizontal direction, especially when you're going to have a rounding or something like this. This is showing a rounding in the z-axis going into that way in depth. These points are going to be important points when you decide to add shading to your sketch. So let's just do some very quick shading on this one. Obviously it's a cylindrical shape. There's light coming from this 3/4 angle, so I'm going to just, with a light grey colour, that whole section in. I might just leave a tiny bit of light on this point here. This is basically a cylindrical shape, but it's curved, so we're going to follow the contour around, and we're going to create a coarse shadow there next to that edge. And I want a little bit of a shadow on this side just so it will give me the contrast I need. Okay, if I wanted to add some colour to that, I would just go over it with a colour marker and just go a little bit past that edge. So then again, straight down in this direction. This is going to be dark. I might just go over that. And if this is a parting line, then, or a section on the top, then I would want to draw some shading in there so I can create that sort of depth as well. Some kind of reflections or darker lines will actually really help give your shape some more form. So make it a bit more interesting to look at. Further, you can add, of course, some chalk on top of that. Okay, so imagine we're sketching away, getting a few ideas. Another thing that's maybe good to do with your ideation is to actually use overlap. Basically, that just means being a little bit strategic with your sketching and making a maybe a handle or something which will just go behind another object. In that way you will actually create depth. You'll create a lot more depth in your sketch as a whole, and that's going to just make your page look more dynamic and interesting. So once you've got your basic shape, what you want to do is darken the shadow sides. So that means a darker line on the shadow side. Usually the underside will be shadow. The light usually comes from top. Right? Any parting lines you might have can get a bit darker. And another handy thing is, remember that when you say we're drawing the attachment, the mixing attachment, remember that anything that's in the the depths. So like in the middle, if I'm looking at from underneath, in the middle here, there's obviously a gap between this edge and this thing which sticks out. That's going to create a shadow. And that shadow, if you draw a shadow here, is going to help show the depth, the distance in that direction. If you want to make something look a little bit more like chrome, you want to draw reflections on it. And usually a good way to do that is basically just with a reasonably dark grey line somewhere around the middle here. So I'll darken that. And once you've got your sketch, you've got your overlap, you can then decide which ones you want in front. If I want this one in front, I'll just draw it on top. So let's switch it. No, I'll keep this one on front, right? You know, this little button here. Oops. See, with the center line I can check the middle. I'm trying to sketch a little bit loosely, but at certain times also trying to being careful about having enough precision. So if I want this one in front, then I will shade this one with that in mind. Here it's a little, just remember your basic shapes with these, and think about the kind of drop shadows, the cast shadows you might get on your form. By being precise about the cast shadows, you really will increase the spatial communication of your sketch. So it's a cylinder here as well. But then I'm not going to draw through this because it's in the front, but I will draw a shadow here. But it's going behind the other one. And maybe a little cast shadow here because it's cast down in this direction. Okay, and then again, color. You can add color on top. I'm not sure if the grey I've used is dark enough, but we'll just use this and see. Notice I'm drawing in long lines, so I'm not, I'm a little trying to be careful, but I'm not being so careful that my line becomes a slow line and a hesitant line. It's the hesitant line which actually communicates that insecurity, and that's not really what you want in a sketch at this stage. At least not when you're trying to convince someone of your idea. See, this one's a bit wobbly. I have to draw it faster. Again, details are also very a powerful tool for giving your sketch more realism. So if you want to make something realistic, it's often not a case of drawing everything super precisely, but drawing some really clean and precise details. You see this often with car sketches where the rims and the wheels are actually just photographic. And also sometimes different kinds of color combinations can help, and of course parting lines, like maybe here. Here. Let's put, I might try and change this to a chrome. bottom section. Adding grey. See if it works. Probably need a little bit more darker to get that chrome effect. Some white pencil. More reflections and maybe an edge, light edge here can also help. Okay, so in the detailing and for the rest, just keep it simple.